Hey there everyone, it's Rob DaCosta here and you're listening to the Agency Accelerator podcast. Now today we're diving into a topic that I bet is keeping many of you up at night. That is that dreadful client service hamster wheel of doom. You know the one I'm talking about, right? It's that never-ending cycle that goes a little something like this. You start your day full of energy and big plans. Today's the day you think, I'm going to nail that pitch, finish that big project, and I'm going to start focusing on the future of my agency. But then a client emails asking for just one small change to a project that you thought was finished last week. Then another client needs that report as soon as possible, the one that wasn't due for another 2 weeks. And oh, look at that, a prospect wants to pick your brains over coffee. How could you possibly say no to potential new business? Before you know it, it's 7 p.m, you're still stuck at your desk, and somehow your to-do list has got even longer. And that strategic planning that you were hoping for, well, there's always tomorrow, right? Let me tell you, I have been there. When I first started my agency, I thought success meant saying yes to everything and everyone. I was the yes man of the agency world. Need that project delivered a week early? Yes, of course we can do that. Want to add 3 new features without changing the budget? Sure, no problem. I just want to be helpful. Fancy a brainstorming session at 7 p.m. on a Friday? Well, count me in. The result was my profit margins were shrinking faster than a wool sweater in a hot wash. I was constantly stressed, my team was burning out, and worst of all, despite all this extra effort, my clients weren't any happier. I was stuck in what I now call the agency circus, juggling flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Sounds impressive, but one wrong move and it all comes crashing down. But here's the kicker, and make sure that you stop multitasking. You come back to me to hear this one. Whilst we're bending over backwards trying to please our clients, we're not actually meeting their needs, or our own for that matter. It's a lose-lose situation. We're not delivering our best work because we're spread too thin. Our clients aren't getting the results that they really need because we're too busy putting out fires to think strategically for them. And for us, well, we're all one missed deadline away from Burnout City. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you there was a way to get off of this hamster wheel, a way to keep your clients happy, your team sane, and your profits healthy, a way to fall in love with your agency all over again? Well, buckle up, because in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share 5 game-changing strategies that will transform your approach to client management. These are the exact strategies that help me escape the hamster wheel and build a thriving agency, and they can do the same for you. So if you're ready to jump off the client service hamster wheel of doom and start accelerating your agency success, well, let's dive in. I'm Rob DaCosta, and this is the Agency Accelerator podcast. As someone who has stood in your shoes, having started, grown and sold my own agency, I know just how it feels in the ups and downs of agency life. So this podcast aims to ease your journey just a little by sharing mine and my guests' experiences and advice as you navigate your way to growing a profitable, sustainable and enjoyable business. Now we've painted a picture of the hamster wheel many of us find ourselves on, let's talk about why mastering client management is so crucial for your agency's success. Because as we've already seen in the intro, client management isn't just about keeping clients happy, although of course that's certainly part of it. It's about creating a sustainable, profitable business that allows you to do your best work without sacrificing your sanity or your bottom line. Think about it this way, your clients are the lifeblood of your agency. Without them, you don't have a business. Well, obvious, right? But not all client relationships are created equal. Some drain your resources, stress out your team, and leave you wondering why you started an agency in the first place. Others energize you, challenge you to grow, and become true partners in yours and their success. The difference? Well, it all comes down to how you manage these relationships. Effective client management impacts every aspect of your agency. It affects your profitability because when you manage clients well, you can charge what you're worth and avoid scope creep. It influences your team's morale because happy clients lead to less stress and more fulfilling work. And it drives your agency's growth because satisfied clients become your best marketers, referring you to others and providing glowing testimonials. But here's what many agency owners miss. Good client management isn't just reactive. It's not about putting out fires or placating difficult clients. It's a proactive approach that sets the tone for the entire client relationship from day one. When you master client management, you're able to set clear expectations, you can communicate effectively, and deliver results that align with your client's true needs, not just their surface level wants. You're able to push back when necessary, guide your clients towards better decisions, and position yourself as a trusted advisor rather than just another vendor. The result? Higher retention rates, more profitable projects, and the ability to attract the kind of clients you actually want to work with. Now, in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 strategies that will help you transform your approach to client management. These aren't just theoretical concepts, they're practical, actionable techniques that you can start implementing today to create stronger, more profitable client relationships. So are you ready to turn your clients into your biggest fans and your agency into a well-oiled machine? Well, if so, let's dive into strategy number 1. And this is kind of the foundation of great client management, understanding client psychology. At its core, this is about empathy, putting yourself in your client's shoes and really understanding what makes them tick. Here's the thing, clients often come to us with a request, but that request isn't actually always what they need. And our job is to dig deeper and uncover the real motivations and challenges behind their asks. Try this technique in your next client meeting. When a client makes a request, respond with, "Oh, that's interesting. Can you tell me more about what you're hoping to achieve with this?" This simple question can open up a whole new level of conversation, get the client thinking a bit more and helping you understand their true objectives and position yourself as a strategic partner rather than just an order taker. Remember, when you understand your client's needs on a deeper level, you're better equipped to provide solutions that truly meet their needs, and that's the key to long-term mutually beneficial relationships. Now let's talk about the lifeblood of any good relationship, and that is communication, which is strategy number 2. In the agency world, clear and consistent communication is your secret weapon for managing expectations and avoiding misunderstandings. So here's a framework that I use for structuring client communications. Number 1 is recap. So start by summarizing what's been done or discussed previously. Number 2 is update. Share the current status of projects or initiatives. Number 3 is next steps, and here we are going to clearly outline what's happening next and who is responsible for what. And then step 4 is questions. Always end by inviting questions or feedback. This structure ensures that everyone's on the same page and nothing falls through the cracks. So here's a real life example from when I ran my agency. So we had a client who was constantly asking for status updates, offered multiple times a day. It was draining our team's time and energy. So we addressed this with the client and suggested that we implement a weekly structured update using the framework I've just outlined. And within a month, the constant check-ins stopped. The client felt more informed and in control, and we reclaimed hours of productive time each week. They knew when they would hear from us and what we would cover, and that led to them to basically leaving us alone to get on with the work. Less interruptions meant better quality work. All right, let's talk about money, which is strategy 3. One of the biggest mistakes I see agencies making is undervaluing their work. Remember, you are not selling hours, you're selling expertise, creativity, and outcomes or results. This is where value-based pricing comes in. And I've spoken about this many times before, but basically, instead of focusing on time it takes to complete a project, you focus on the value it brings to the client. Ask yourself, how much is this solution worth to the client's business? What kind of ROI can they expect? Here's a quick tip. Before you quote a price, calculate your true hourly rate. So take your desired annual income, add your overhead costs, then divide it by the number of billable hours you realistically work in a year. And as many people are, you might well be surprised at what your time is really worth. And remember, it's okay to say no to projects that aren't profitable or a great fit for your agency. Your time and expertise is valuable, so price them accordingly. And remember, when we take on clients that are not ideal fit, they are always really difficult to keep happy, and that leads to overservicing, and that leads to staff unhappiness and client unhappiness as well. So it's a lose-lose situation. Now let's tackle one of the biggest challenges in agency life, scope creep, and that's our 4th strategy. You know the drill, a project starts small, but before you know it, it's grown into a monster that's eating up all of your profits, and you want to keep the client happy, and when they say, "Can you just?" of course that means you say yes, which is a big mistake. The key to managing scope creep is to set clear boundaries from the start. Be explicit about what's included in the project and what isn't. And when a client invariably asks for extras, be ready with a friendly but firm response. Here's a script that you can use next time this happens. Hi client, I understand that you'd like to add this feature. Well, it wasn't part of our original scope, but we'd be happy to accommodate it. Let's discuss how we can adjust the project timeline or budget to make this happen. This approach shows that you're willing to be flexible whilst also reinforcing that additional work comes at a cost. Our final strategy is all about playing the long game. While it's exciting to land new clients, the real gold mine is nurturing and growing your existing client relationships. Think about it. It's far easier and more cost effective to upsell an existing client who already knows you and trusts you than it is to acquire a brand new client. So how do you go about nurturing these relationships? Well, first we need to deliver what we promise, and then it's all about going above and beyond, providing value even when you're not actively working on a project. Share industry insights, send relevant articles, or offer a free strategy session. And of course, 2/3 of the way through a current project, you should start having those strategic conversations about what might be next. Don't wait till the end, but find the right moment when you're delivering great work, you have a great relationship with your current client, to discuss with them what happens next. So here's a personal example from when I ran my agency CITPR. We had a client who we hadn't worked with for a few months, and I saw an article that was relevant to their industry, and I sent it over with a quick note saying, hey, how are you doing? Thought you might find this useful. And that simple gesture led to a conversation which turned into a new project, which then became an ongoing retainer, all from a 5-minute action of sharing valuable information. Remember, when it comes to client management, it's the little things that often make the biggest difference. It's these small, consistent actions that transform clients into long-term partners and advocates for your agency. All right, let's bring this all together because we've covered a lot of ground today. So let's quickly recap the 5 key strategies that can transform your approach to client management. Number 1 is understanding client psychology. Remember, it's about digging deeper to understand and uncover your client's true needs and motivations. Strategy 2 is about effective communication. Structure your communications to keep everyone on the same page and manage expectations effectively. Strategy 3 is about pricing and profitability. Focus on value-based pricing and don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. Strategy 4 is managing expectations and scope creep. So set clear boundaries from the start and have a plan for handling scope creep requests. And then number 5 is about building long-term relationships. So nurture your existing client relationships by consistently providing value. Now, you might be thinking, Rob, this all sounds great, but does it really work? So let me share a quick success story with you. One of my clients, Sarah, runs a digital marketing agency. You might have seen her appearing in some of the workshops that I've been running. When she first came to me, she was working 60-hour weeks, constantly stressed, and her profit margins were razor thin and often in the red. After implementing the strategies that I've just talked about today, and obviously dug in more detail with her, the transformation was remarkable. Within 3 months, Sarah was brave enough to implement everything we've discussed, and she saw her agency's profits increasing by 22%. She was able to raise her rates, and instead of losing clients, she actually improved her client retention. And the best part, she cut her working hours down to less than 40 hours a week, and she finally took a vacation, her first one in 3 years. The key to Sarah's success, and what can be the key to your success, is that she didn't try to implement everything at once. She started small, focusing on one strategy at a time, and built from there. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one of the strategies, perhaps the one that's giving you the most pain right now, and commit to implementing it in your agency over the next month. Maybe it's using the deep dive question technique in your next client meeting, or perhaps it's reviewing your pricing structure. Whatever you choose, just take the first step. Remember, transforming your approach to client management isn't just about making more money or having an easier day-to-day, although of course those are great benefits. It's about falling back in love with your agency all over again. It's about doing work that truly matters with clients who value and respect you. Look, we all started our agency with a vision of creating something amazing, and these strategies can help you realize that vision one client relationship at a time. And there you have it, your roadmap to mastering client management and escaping the client service hamster wheel of doom. Now, if you found value in today's episode, I've got even more to share with you. I've distilled years of agency experience and countless client interactions into my client and account management mastery course. This isn't just another theoretical program. It's a practical, actionable 6-week course designed specifically for agency owners like you. In addition to deep dives into the strategies we've discussed today, you'll also get access to Ask Rob Anything, my AI-powered coach that provides 24/7 support as you implement what you've learned. Imagine having an experienced agency coach in your pocket, ready to help you navigate tricky client situations at any time. You can use it to dive into the topics in the course, or you can use it to ask other questions about running an agency. And right now, it's included for free and deeply embedded into the client and account management mastery course. For a limited time, I'm offering a special price plus access to Ask Rob Anything. So to learn more and take the next step in transforming your agency, head over to dacostacoaching.co.uk/client management course. That's client-management-course. Remember, the success of your agency isn't just about the work you do. It's about how you manage your client relationships. You have the power to create the agency that you've always dreamed of, and it starts with mastering client management. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining into the Agency Accelerator today. As ever, if you found this episode useful, please do leave a review and share it with your fellow agency community. And of course, make sure you've subscribed. But until next week, keep accelerating your agency success.